So with Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, and a very strong pre-season, Manchester United might just be back. And I thought, do you know what? Let me sit down and recreate Amorim's pre-season sort of tactics inside of this game. So if you do enjoy the tactics, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. But as always, don't worry, we are going to go back when the season starts and make every Premier League manager's tactics in this game after a handful of games have been played. So let's lock in to what is a tactic that returned me a quadruple, invincible winning season, and that's not even with the strongest team. Today we're going to test with Sporting and Manchester United. Now, there are 3 variants today. We went into every game on the balanced version, but every different game situation, we did need to use the attacking or defensive. So in these cups, there were situations where I went more defensive. With Manchester United, I went in against City and Liverpool on defensive. You need all 3 variants to replicate these results, and that's why I always say stick around. A lot of you guys don't, but if you stick around and copy all 3, you're not forced to go over and download them. Obviously, it makes it easier for you, but you can copy all 3 variants in a matter of like 3 or 4 minutes. So I will say make sure you are sticking around, because it isn't just one tactic suits all. You need different tactics for different in-game situations. So right off the bat, Sporting, I mean, this season was one to remember. Portuguese Super Cup winners, I mean, it's an incredible 3-0 win over Porto. The Portuguese League Cup, 1-0 over Benfica. Actually, the game where I would have went defensive after scoring the goal to try and get over the line. The Portuguese Cup, 2-1 over Porto. Fantastic game and a fantastic start to the season. Not a bad run in the Champions League with a team like Sporting, but the creme de la creme, the actual league itself. I mean, set pieces, Diamande, 18 goals, by the way. Not the highest I've achieved with a centre-back, but another reason to go and check those set pieces out. But an invincible season. New man Luis Suarez, not the Luis Suarez, the other Luis Suarez. 23 goals, the most clean sheets, 3 players with the top assists, 4 players on the best average rating, and the draws coming in against 3 of them being really, really big teams. So didn't really slip up at all against any of the smaller teams. And I mean, we're going to have a bit of everything. The most goals, the most shots, the fewer shots against. Very good possession, 58% possession. Over 670 dribbles being made. 7 goals conceded. Now, that is a mixture of a great backline and also how good we were on the ball and how controlling we were on that ball. So, I mean, this tactic genuinely does really do it all, and the shape, the structure, the movement, it works really, really well. The data hub was incredible. 3.38 goals a game, 0.21 conceded. I mean, defensively in Portugal, we were absolutely fantastic. A 90% pass completion, over 24 shots a game. The tackle win ratio is not the best I've seen, being honest, but everything else is absolutely incredible, including goals conceded, trophies won. We were really that Portuguese team. Got a chance to show you the importance of tactical variants, because we start every game on balance. We're playing Porto, a team that I know very well, and we go 1-0 down inside of 5 minutes. Now, this system I'm confident in, so the first thing I done was go from balance to attacking, and it took me a little time, don't get me wrong, it took me about 40 minutes, but after that sort of transition phase of us getting more confident, we actually go through and tie the game up 1-1 with a great goal there from Suarez, a great ball into him as well. We then stuck on the attacking version, and literally 15 minutes into the second half, we are going to go and win the game. The importance of tactical variation. And over to Manchester United, which was a lovely season. Semi-finals in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup winners, 4-1 over Nottingham Forest, and Premier League winners, Sesko and Mbeumo. Now, I will say, both players were locked in. I'm not going to lie to you. Onana, the most clean sheets, Mazraoui, Fernandes, and Mbeumo, the best player in the entire league. I think he is going to be really good at Manchester United, and again, comment below what you think of their signings. Let me know how you think they're going to do. But I think United have done really well in this transfer window. Most goals, most shots, fewer shots against, the best defensive record, which was the area I was a little bit worried about. Possession, we're not going to be up there. I'm going to be honest with you. Pass completion, we are up there with 90%. Now, I will be honest, in terms of what I'd done differently from this compared to Sporting, I would probably say I went defensive a lot more often with this team, especially against teams like City, Liverpool, Arsenal, because they've got such a good attacking threat. And I almost went into the game unbalanced, thought, hang on, this is getting a little bit ropey now. I went defensive, sat back a little bit, and we still found a way to go and win those games. So the wins over City, Arsenal, Liverpool, they weren't pretty games, but we got the job done. And do you know what? That is all that we need to do. So if we go and see this data hub, 3.37 over 17 shots, it's still a lot of goals, to be honest, but it's probably why you're not seeing 4 or 5 goals a game, because I did manage the team very, very sort of structurally quite defensively solid, because I was worried about the attack that, you know, these teams have. And that's not a negative way of playing football. It just gets the results done. So they're going to be the results from both tests. I mean, 2 fantastic tests. Really strong tests. So we'll go and watch some highlights, maybe the FA Cup, maybe a game against City or Arsenal, and then it's time to break it down. So then, the FA Cup final, here we go. And I tell you what, I've chosen this game because we've got to see a couple of goals from the new man up front, and that's going to be goal number 1. Benjamin Sesko, inside of 2 minutes, is going to make us go 1-0 up, which I absolutely love to see. Cunha breaking legs there into Ugarte, drives it outside into Mazraoui, a ball back into Ugarte, 1 touch, 1 strike, and that is going to be 2-0 inside of 16 minutes. Absolutely incredible play. Bruno Fernandes puts a ball in right there, and it is going to be a little bit scrappy, a bit of a failed clearance from Nottingham Forest. Bruno Fernandes on the edge goes alone, and that is why I'm happy I kept Bruno, or we kept Bruno, because he is such a good player in this team. The real heart of Manchester United. Now, we do go and concede a goal, which is completely fine. You know, we were still, probably shouldn't have gone in at the near post, to be honest. Onana, I'm going to question quite a fair bit, but we still managed to bounce back and reclaim that 3-goal cushion. Malacia down the left-hand side, taking his time out there, just toying with him, really. A bit of a twisted ball back, and Sesko to get that header off. Incredible. Right then, over to the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. But as always, if you've got any ideas, you are more than welcome to comment them below. And if you enjoy rebuilds, make sure you are coming on over to Daily Josh. We are doing a full realism rebuild with this tactic literally tomorrow. So make sure you are coming over and checking it out, because we're going to include Sesko, Cunha, obviously all the new boys as well. And I even might go after Donnarumma and Baleba. Who knows? We're going to try and make it happen. But let's go over and start creating this system. So we are going to operate on a clean slate, and we are going to choose a 5-2-3, and we will simply build it up from there. So first thing is, we are going to pop these 2 players here, and we'll talk about this front 3 as we approach it. Now, the goalkeeper, before we speak about that, we are going down to positive. So there you go, up to positive, not down to positive, as we are going to operate in quite a, I don't want to sound cheesy, but positive manner, quite attacking, try and get the goals that we can. The goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper on support. Now, already, there can be a debate here, can't there? You can say, Josh, I'd actually say attacking, and I would somewhat say potentially, but for me, the sweeper keeper in this game already is quite risky on the supportive role. Having the goalkeeper on attack would probably not be the best option, in my opinion, when you also factor in that it's Onana. You know, things don't always go smoothly with Andre Onana. Going over to the back line, we are going to use a ball-playing defender on the right-hand side, and he will be told to do 2 things. Dribble less and also stay wider. Very important he does stay wider, because we are going to have 2 quite attacking wing-backs in this system, the key part of Amorim's style. The central defender is going to be a ball-playing defender on stopper. You see this a lot in the United back 3. One of them comes out and at least attempts to put a challenge in before the other 2, and that player is also going to be responsible of dribbling more, meaning he can actually charge into that space there, and it is a really, really good thing to do because it's easy to build up from the back. The left centre-back is going to be the same as the right side centre-back. So 2 instructions, dribble less and also stay wider. So, to be honest with you, for a 3-back system, even if you factor in when this player does push up, the wing-backs won't push up at the same time for guaranteed. So at bare minimum, you're going to have at least 3 at the back, if not 4. So there isn't too much risks being taken, despite having a lot of players being told to go up and push on. So don't worry about it, because I know it looks a little bit of a rogue tactic, but you're actually quite sound at the back as well. We're then going to use an attacking wing-back, not only on the right-hand side, but also on the left-hand side, and both of these are going to be told to do 2 things. Run wide and also stay wider. Now, this can change as we get into the season, and he 100% picks the guaranteed players that he will be starting week in, week out. Obviously, pre-season is testing. This is like a mashup of the entire pre-season, so you're never going to get a bang-on replica, because obviously he was tweaking different things, trying different things. After he's played 6-7 games in the Premier League, a pattern will occur, and that's when you can really have your full 100% realism tactics. This is as close as I can imagine it, while factoring in everything that I've seen. Going up to the midfield too, on the right-hand side, we are going to have a role that Bruno's trying to playing as sort of like a deep line playmaker, sort of a deep role, bit of a playmaking role. And I think he can adapt to it. It's definitely going to take time. Not as leggy. He doesn't need as much, stamina or things to do that. But he does need, therefore, a partner that can do that. And the best role that I could describe for that would be a ball-winning midfield player. And he's going to come in on defend, a hard-working man who will put in a challenge, be quite aggressive, and actually be quite direct with the passing to actually get the ball up to the front three. And this is where the opinions can start flying out, and it's why I love my viewers, because we all have opinions, and that is what makes this channel I'll quickly say to people, if you were interested in getting all of my entire year's worth of tactics, all of my rebuild files, one-on-one tactical help, ad-free viewing, Patreon exclusive tactics, early access, and so much more, including big monthly giveaways, there is currently 30% off my Patreon. 30% off. We've had a record-breaking month once again. We're pushing on towards 6,000 members. And when FM26 drops, we've got 5 more perks ready. So make sure you are going over to at least check it out, because there's more pieces of content released on there per week than there are days in the week. So over 200 tactics, 70 rebuild files. It's not looking too bad. Let's go in and talk tactics. On the right, I actually went for an inside forward on attack. And we're going to have him set to sit narrow alongside of shoot more, roam, and also tackle harder. Now, sit narrow, what does that mean? Well, he will sit narrow as a 10. So it actually will shape up like that narrow system. Now, there's one thing you can do if you want to be a bit different. You can actually tell him to stay wider. Therefore, when the team has the ball, he'll be an out wide option. But I've told him to sit narrow because that is how I personally saw the games. And we are going to have one player literally in a narrow role. That is going to be the advanced playmaker role, which Cunha was actually locked into with 3 instructions: tackle harder, move into the channels, and also roam from position. So that is going to give you actually 2 narrow-based players, although one looks like he is out wide. And up front, we are going to use an advanced forward on shoot more and also tackle harder. And that is going to give you your player roles for the Amorim pre-season tactics. In possession, we are going to go up to fairly wide. We're going to utilise whipped crosses, work the ball into the box, play out from the back, run at defence, be more expressive, a higher tempo, and a shorter passing directness. Again, we are really making an effort to get that ball in the box in terms of working it into the box, or at least getting into an area where the crosses aren't just pure hit and hope. So that is really positive to see as well. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and play to the entire back line, which then of course we are going to build up from. If that central centre-back gets it, he will lead the charge. Out of possession, we are going to use the high press with the high defensive line, trap outside, get stuck in, and a maxed out trigger press to much more often. Now let's go over and talk about the attacking version, which of course got used quite a fair bit when we went a goal behind or when we were playing a super weak team. And there are minute changes that make all the difference. So the goalkeeper, for example, he's going to remain the same. The ball players remain exactly the same. The wing backs remain exactly the same. The DLP remains the same. The box-to-box doesn't. Brand new. Box-to-box on support to help push up and also come back. Pass it short, move into the channels, and also tackle harder. The inside forward is going to have the same set of instructions. The AP is now going to be set up to attack on roam, move into the channels, and also tackle harder. And the advanced forward, well, he remains simply the same. In possession, we are going to go up to fairly wide. By the way, we are going up to attacking as a little heads up, which I will say is a much needed thing to have in this tactic, because that width is very, very important. We are also going to use whipped crosses, overlap left, overlap right, while playing out from the back. Work ball into the box is going to go absolutely nowhere. Run at defence, be more expressive. The tempo, no reason to go down in an attacking version, and the passing does remain on shorter. In transition, I'm not here to waste your time. We are going to keep it literally exactly the same, because that is how we play and that's how quick I want to play. And out of possession, we are going to roll with the high press, the much higher defensive line, trap outside, get stuck in, and a maxed out trigger press to much more often. Now let's go over and talk about defense for smaller teams and to switch to. Now this tactic is a lower tempos, more methodical, sort of not time wasting as in negative, but just being sensible on the ball. So the goalkeeper does remain the same. The ball players at the back all remain the same in terms of the left and the right, but the central one just drops to a basic defend. Nothing crazy. Don't rush out and put challenges in. Just be nice and calm. The wing backs also are both now on automatic, on stay wide, tackle harder, and mark tighter. They're actually not told to go up and push on, so they are going to be quite reserved. We also drop the 2 in midfield down. The ball with a midfield player is going to simply be on the default on defend, and a default DLP is going to be his partner. The AP comes back into the team on the same instructions as the default version, and the inside forward is now going to be on support, on roam, sit narrow, and tackle harder, and to link up the front sort of 3 together, a complete forward simply on support. We also drop down to balance as a little heads up. The width is going to remain the same because that is just how this tactic has to have. The whip crosses does come back in. Again, no reason to change. Work ball into the box, play out from the back. The passing all the way down, which actually brings the tempo down to technically slightly lower. In transition, counter press, counter, and play to the entire back line. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to go in with a higher defensive line opposed to the much higher, with the high press more often and also trap outside. And that is going to give you, boys and girls, not 1, not 2, but 3 versions of pre-season Amorim, a mixture of all the different things he has tried over this pre-season period. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Where do you think United will finish? Rate their transfer windows, and if you have got a second, be sure to leave a little like. It's completely free and helps out massively. And while you're there, you may as well subscribe, because we've got endless content coming out on this channel, on the second channel, all of that good stuff. So yeah, make sure you lock it in, because it's going to be a pretty big year. So yeah, much love, and I'll see you in the next one.